On this episode of Cape Media News, U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren pays a visit to Harwich. We take you inside the YMCA's Healthy Kids Day and learn about charitable redemption in Yarmouth. These stories and more, this is Cape Media News. This is Cape Media News, your local authentic newscast for Cape Cod. I'm Sarah Colvin. This weekend, if you've got unused or unwanted prescription drugs, you're being encouraged to turn them in free and anonymously. The Yarmouth Police Department and the Drug Enforcement Administration are teaming up for Drug Take Back Day, Saturday, April 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Medicines that are left unused in home cabinets are highly susceptible to diversion, misuse, and abuse. Rates of prescription drug abuse in the U.S. are high. Studies show that a majority of those abused prescription drugs are obtained from family and friends, including from the home medicine cabinet. It is dangerous to flush drugs down the toilet or throw them in the trash. Instead, bring your pills to YPD headquarters at 1 Brad Erickson Way in West Yarmouth Saturday from 10 to 2. The service is free and anonymous, no questions asked. Last year, the YPD collected more than 400 pounds of potentially dangerous prescription drugs for destruction. By the way, the YPD and Barnstable Police maintain a drug turn-in kiosk in their lobbies, which is accessible 24/7 year-round. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren visited Harwich last Saturday for a community conversation on the opioid crisis. She's proposing spending $10 billion over the course of the next decade to combat the crisis. State statistics say nearly 2,000 residents lost their lives in the year 2017 alone. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren was in Harwich recently, pushing a new bill to help communities deal with this growing problem.
So what I've been trying to work on is how do you make a real change? Not just how do you nibble, how do you hit this thing hard and bring it back down? We have got to stop this kind of climb in the numbers. Stop the number of opioid deaths, stop the number of people who are addicted to opioids.
Senator Warren's proposal calls for spending $100 billion over the next decade to combat the crisis.
And here's the deal about the $100 billion. A couple of things I want to tell you about it. This is not a Washington knows best resources. This is one that says local communities know best. They know the nature of their problem. We know basically what we need to do. It's about outreach, it's about treatment, and then it's about long-term support. But different communities have different needs. So what this is all about, this bill, is to push that money down to local communities. Push it to the frontline fighters, those who are out there trying to fight this epidemic, to the community health centers that are beating back against this crisis, to the support groups that are trying to push back against it.
Warren was on Cape Cod this past Saturday for a community conversation held at Cape Cod Regional Technical High School in Harwich. Panelists included Heidi Nelson of the Duffy Health Center.
We help people who need to be connected to inpatient substance abuse treatment. We help people who are in inpatient facilities who need to be connected to outpatient services after their inpatient treatment. But our signature program really is our MAT program, or Medication Assisted Treatment Program. We've been providing MAT, which is the use of medications for treatment of substance use disorder, meaning Suboxone and Vivitrol, for over 12 years, and we were actually the lead agency for all of the community health centers on the Cape.
Lisa Murphy of Parents Supporting Parents emphasized the need for funding.
Show us the money. We are spent, we are parents, and we have spent every dime that we've had, and we really need resources today for treatment and education.
The need to combat the crisis is urgent, especially here on Cape Cod.
Our communities have been disproportionately impacted by this epidemic. This is an epidemic that, if you look at data across the state, there has been some progress that's been made in reducing the number of opiate overdoses, particularly those leading to death. That data we've not seen that happen here on the Cape.
And while help is available, those in need experience many roadblocks as they try to recover from the grip of opiate addiction.
My name is Elena. I am 26 years old, and I have been a heroin addict since I was 13. So I know very deeply about this issue, and I was actually wanting to touch on the issue of the treatment centers. As you can imagine, for 13 years, I've been in and out of a lot of them. And it's so frustrating and disappointing when you really want to get help for yourself and you go in to either a hospital or you go into one of these places, and actually the average length of stay in these places is 4 to 5 days. And that's it. Then you're out on the street with nothing else, no other resources, and it's almost like you're set up to fail.
Senator Warren and Maryland Representative Elijah Cummings are co-sponsors of the bill. It's modeled after the Ryan White bill that helped the nation combat the AIDS crisis nearly 3 decades ago. This new bill calls for a major infusion of federal funds, and spending decisions would be in the hands of local communities.
And just so you all know, this is $100 billion over 10 years. The idea would be it would be about $55 million to Massachusetts every single year for 10 years. The importance of 10 years is I want people to know it's going to continue to come. So you can actually build structures and see it coming. You can plan out how to deal with this. Out on the Cape, it would mean about $2.7 million every year to put directly into fighting this crisis.
And while $100 billion may seem like a staggering figure, Senator Warren told the audience in Harwich that the crisis is costing us even more.
The Trump administration estimates that the crisis this year will cost us $500 billion. Think about that. In terms of treatment, in terms of loss of life, in terms of people who are not working because they're somewhere else, in terms of what we spend on law enforcement, $500 billion in a single year. My view is we get out there and spend $10 billion fighting back against that problem. This could be the best money we ever spent in America. That's how we make change. Yep.
Senator Warren and panelists answered a number of questions from the audience. You can watch the full meeting on Channel 98 and 99 or online at capemedia.org. For Cape Media News, I'm Sarah Colvin.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends.
Come on in! Help yourself to anything.
That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
And as the community continues to heal in the wake of the tragic death of Sergeant Sean Gannon, the Cape and Islands legislative delegation is asking for answers as to why the shooter, a career criminal with 125 charges on his record, was still out on the streets. A letter was sent to the chairs of the Joint Committee on the Judiciary and the Joint Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security, asking for an oversight hearing to identify lapses in the criminal justice system that led to the unfortunate killing of Sergeant Sean Gannon. Cape and Islands State Senator Julian Cyr says we owe it to Sergeant Gannon, his family, and the Yarmouth Police Department to take a hard look at what happened, particularly at the trial court, witness protection programs, and probation departments. We need to see if there are lessons to be learned from this tragic loss. The Cape and Islands legislative delegation is united in this. It's about getting answers to help our community heal.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
As summer days approach, the YMCA is encouraging local youth to be active, healthy, and strong. Gabrielle Rawson reports on Healthy Kids Day, held recently at the YMCA's West Barnstable campus.
The YMCA's annual Healthy Kids Day in West Barnstable drew hundreds of kids and families last Saturday.
Today we are hosting a Healthy Kids Day to promote our 3 pillars of healthy living, youth development, and social responsibility.
The free event, which featured pony rides, bouncy houses, touch-a-truck, and much more, raffled prizes which were donated by local businesses to raise awareness about healthy living.
Healthy Kids Day is such a fun opportunity because it's a free event and we open up to the whole community. So it's not just for our members, it's for anyone on the Cape. You can bring your kids, your grandkids, and it's an opportunity to enjoy a fun free day and also learn a little bit more about the Y. The YMCA is here for the community, so it's fun that we get to do such a great day and it's been such a success.
Although Healthy Kids Day comes but once a year, the YMCA has many year-round programs to keep kids engaged.
We have a bunch of different youth sports classes and youth fitness classes. You can sign up on our website, you can sign up here at the Y, and just be a part of it.
But the YMCA isn't just a great place for kids, it's also a community resource for anyone who wants to improve their health.
We have a diabetes center that's here at the YMCA. Anyone is welcome to utilize it. It has resources for people with pre-diabetes, people with type 1 and type 2 diabetes. We actually have a nutritionist who is on staff who will give people with diabetes a free session. We have a program called the WISE Diabetes Prevention Program, so people who are pre-diabetic can sign up, and it's has a year of resources. So we just want to be a resource for people that might be pre-diabetic, diabetic, or just for health and wellness in general is important to us.
The YMCA offers the community many different types of memberships.
Anyone can become a member. We have several different categories: family memberships, senior memberships, individual memberships, youth memberships, and they can come to the Y. We're happy to give a tour to anyone at any time that we're open, kind of show you what we have, our pool, our wellness floor, talk about our programs, then you can sign up that day. Our philosophy is we don't turn anyone away because of their inability to pay, and so people can apply to scholarships, and we just do a little bit of paperwork. We try to make it very easy for people, and then hopefully we can make it work for them and their family, and they can be a member at the Y. And so it's a win-win in our perspective, and we love welcoming as many people in our doors as we possibly can.
We want to make sure that every child has a fair opportunity.
For Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson.
Well, do you recycle your cans and bottles? Champ Charitable Redemption in Yarmouth processes more than 1 million cans and bottles every year and helps do good in the community, too.
So my name is Paul Hebert, and my wife Carolyn and myself, we kept this redemption center going after we established it with a nonprofit. The nonprofit didn't want to do it anymore, and so the timing was perfect. Carolyn and I took it over. We took it because of the main reason that it's great for the environment. Every can that we help to recycle properly can create some energy to run your television and run your computer. People don't realize how much energy goes into producing even just one can.
Recycling through Redemption is not only clean, it helps reduce the amount of litter on the streets.
We separate the aluminum from the plastic immediately, so the plastic and the aluminum go in their separate containers. So it's clean recycling. Is one of the best ways to really recycle, is through the process of redemption. We keep the product out of the street. It's not near the street because somebody who might want that nickel, an industrious entrepreneurial person, whether it's a young person or an older person, a retired person, they come in with bags full of material that they just picked off the street. So they're working for us without costing the taxpayers any money to keep the litter off the streets.
Implemented in 1983, the state's bottle bill requires containers of carbonated beverages to be returnable with minimum return value of 5 cents.
Right now, Massachusetts is one of the best. There are 10 states that do redemption, only 10 in the country. So out of that, though, in Massachusetts, almost 70% of the beverage containers are recycled, redeemed. Okay, the 30% or more that are not necessarily redeemed, all those nickels that are not redeemed in a space of time, those which have been collected by the distributor at the retail shop. So the distributor has to take the within 45 days or so, they take all those nickels that have not been redeemed by places like this or the independents attached to supermarkets or liquor stores. That goes to Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Somewhere in the vicinity of $35 to $40 million a year
Charitable Redemption Partners processes millions of redeemable bottles and cans on an annual basis.
That's a tremendous amount of volume that goes through a little shop that only has 2,000 square feet.
And then those bottles and cans are picked up and continue on their journey.
The only organization that picks up from us is the Coke, which we're standing right in front of the Coke container. Today there might be about 150 bags of product. They will take that back to Coke, and that will then be processed, and it's all crushed into cubes. So then Coke has that aluminum to sell on the open market. Budweiser, which is the next bin over, that Budweiser goes up to Kingston, Mass, by our box truck when in the busy season, in the summer. This is not the busy season. This is what we call the slow season. Then in the summer, sometimes we'll use an 18-wheeler there, 2 18-wheelers parked out there, and we'll load that up either with Budweiser or with another company called Tamra, which is the largest recycler in the world for beverage containers.
And then the process of returning money to the Redemption Center begins.
Each bag normally has, of the regular can, the 12-ounce can, 240 to a bag. When we send it out, they will do at least a random check of what we send out. So they verify that, is there 240 in the bag? What we shoot for is to have between 240 and 250 in a bag, because it takes less bags, we send more product out. But if they count it and the average is 237 in a bag, and I sent 100 bags, then they're going to look at that and say, well, we're going to reduce what you sent to us overall. So we want to be consistent in what we put in the bags. Then once they process it, they send it to their accounts payable, and then we luckily get a check, which pays us back for all the nickels we advanced. So sometimes when I give out a nickel, I will not see that nickel back for maybe as long as 45 days.
And if you want to redeem your cans and bottles in a hurry, Charitable Redemption has a new express process that makes it easy.
For the sake of the customers, Redemption Express, you may have seen the sign out there, and that's saying, listen, if you're home and you know that there's 40 bottles in can, plastic in here, 40 in this bag, and you bring it in and you hand it to us, we're going to trust you. And you say, there's 40 in this here, I'm going to give you $2, thank you very much. You go out the door and it's done.
Time now to head over to the Cape Cod MSPCA to meet this week's Adorable Adoptables.
This week on Cape Media News, meet the MSPCA's Adorable Adoptables. There's Tyler, the yellow lab with a lot of life, and Missy, a short-haired tabby who's ready for her forever home. Plus, learn about the MSPCA's Summer Gala.
Hi, I'm Mary Sarah Fairweather, and I am the director of the MSPCA Cape Cod. And today we're going to talk about a couple of animals, and we'll start with Tyler, who is an 11-year-old yellow lab. He came to us when his owner no longer had time for him. Tyler is an absolute love. He is incredibly playful, friendly, happy-go-lucky, goofy yellow lab. Loves to play fetch, loves just to be around his people, gets along with other dogs. He's just kind of an all-around great dog. Tyler may end up being a Fospus dog. He has a lot going on medically. We're still doing a lot of testing to see if there's anything that can be done about his condition. But until then, we're going to give him the best life possible and are looking for a home where he can retire. So this is Missy, and she is a 7-year-old cat, and she came to us because the child in the home was being a little too rough for her and giving her a little too much sass. So she gave it right back, and she's been with us for some time. She's looking for a quiet home, I think, one maybe with no young children. She's pretty much a couch potato, and she needs a home with an owner that's going to understand cat body language. So yes, she's affectionate, but she'll let you know when she's had her limit, and she'll give you a little swat if she's had enough. She is on a special diet. She has a history of urinary tract infections, so she is on a special diet, but she's worth it, and we just want to get her home as soon as possible.
If you can't adopt, there are other ways to help pets in need.
So we're really excited because tickets are on sale for our annual gala, and this year it is entitled Tales of a White Knight. And our honorary chair is Bobby Orr, so we're super excited, and the event will take place on Friday, July 27th at the Ridge Club. And tickets are on sale now at mspca.org/Cape. and we're hoping that it'll be a complete sellout. It should be a lot of fun. We're encouraging people to wear all white attire and just get their dancing shoes on and get ready to raise a lot of money for animals.
If you're interested in adopting a lovable pet, come in or call the MSPCA today.
We are loving all the abundant daylight and sunshine in recent days. Forsythias are in bloom, hostas and hydrangeas are starting to sprout, and we've got full sun by 6 a.m. Today the sun rose at 5:43. It'll set at 7:35. That's 13 hours and 51 minutes of daylight. Days will increase by about 2.5 minutes per day for the next few weeks. The first day of summer, by the way, is Thursday, June 21st, just 55 days away. Keep up to date with us online at capemedia.org. Send news tips to me at news@capemedia.org. For Cape Media News, I'm Sarah Colvin.